Okay, guys, I am honestly very excited about watching this. So, this is the making of Gothic Remake. Could it be called the remaking of Gothic? You decide. Like, subscribe. Let's watch the essence of Gothic. Riveting. Ah,
The original Gothic
okay, already this looks beautiful. I like the glowing ore. Magical, the mine looks very, very, very magical. I like the vibe.
was so popular and so unique at the time that I feel like it deserves a proper remake.
I'm recognizing every single one of these places, by the way. This is the place you go here with Lester at the end because near the end of the game because you need a magical item from here, and he wants the license of ownership for this castle, if I'm not mistaken.
Time that I feel like it deserves.
You go here with Gorn as well, I think. Is it? I think it is. I think this is the place that you go with Gorn. You're also, looking for a focus.
A proper remake.
And yeah, absolutely, Gothic deserves a proper remake because while it was really popular at the time, nowadays a lot of the systems, a lot of the gameplay is very dated. Like, somebody who is just getting into it would spend 30 minutes just trying to figure out the controls, and they would feel very, they feel intuitive once you figure them out, but before that, they are not fun. And even the combat could use a lot of improvement. There's a lot of ambiance that, while very good, Gothic has a very good vibe. The ambiance deserves an update. Oh, that guy's cut in half. That's Artis's Tower. the nameless hero. By the way, I saw people like complaining that he has a ponytail now, like in other videos, and it's like he always did. He literally always had a ponytail in the first game. The remaking of Gothic. Seriously, they should have called it the remaking. But still, yeah, making of. It's fine, it's fine.
Our approach was first and foremost
The
to
old
respect and embrace the original vision behind the game. We studied the original vision, we tried to understand everything what they were trying to say.
I fucking love that art piece. This art piece of Gomez with some of his wives, because it's like this man 100% commissioned this piece while in prison. He probably found out that somebody was an artist who was there probably for tax evasion or some bullshit, and he said, "Hey, you're going to draw me and my wives, or I'm gonna kill you." And it's like, that's so fucking based.
To say they were trying to convey, and we just thought about, okay, this is a remake. That's the first thing the fans should have to. We are not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Wow, this seems like the same area, right?
That's the first thing the fans.
These mole rats are like in the southern exit of the old camp. You need to go into this cave here to like get a ring as proof that you found the body of one of the guards that disappeared.
Should have to. We are not trying to.
Yeah, you can see the entrance to the cave here. You've got the mole rats here. I think one of them is already dead over there.
Invent the wheel or
And then
to do something crazy with the Gothic franchise. I mean, this is a remake. We embrace, we honor the original vision, and we just try to approach there with the uttermost respect.
After so many years, and actually after quite a short time after the release of Gothic 1, when I look back at the music that I've done back then, I kind of always find the things that I would have loved to improve. If I had more time, I would have thrown things away and replaced them with other ideas. So that constant,
I know this area as well. This is right at the start. Like when you start the game, there's you go along the left side and then you go through this bridge and there's this mole rat here.
And drive to make everything better. Now I get a second chance, so I can return to my music that I wrote back then and
Swamp
create
Camp.
new versions, create fresh versions that kind of stand the test of time.
I remember in the original, this guy, like, there's no way to get this guy to talk to you. Like, part of your acceptance into the swamp camp was that you had to get the masters, the gurus, to talk to you. And this guy just they never added in a way for him to talk to you, so he's just always there. Every time you try to talk to him, he just and he just refuses to talk to you. Like, you'll be a Templar in the swamp camp. You'll be like climbing through the ranks, one of the most important people. Every time you talk to him, it
been more than 20 years since the first Gothic
the
came
Templars
out,
do look good though.
and it's difficult to think about how you bring something that has such a history into modern.
This is I think this is shadow armor. I don't think this is guard armor yet because there's no actual armor. It's just leather. I think this is shadow armor. What mace is this?
Times with the quality of life we have now, and how you stay truthful to the original experience of playing such a game, which was quite innovative, quite new to the whole market and what it brought to RPGs.
I got immersed into the world.
Yeah, you needed to make one of his students sleep, which would then make him talk to you. So, and he'd ask you, "Hey, how were you able to use our magic?" Because only those chosen are able to use the spells to put people to sleep and to like affect the mind. It's part of their magic that they get from their religion, from the sleeper. And so that's how you trick him into talking to you so that you can be accepted into the camp.
World of Gothic, thanks to Kai Rosenkrantz and his creations. And I want to say a big thank you to Snowball localization team, because they made a huge job. The voices and localization, it helped me a lot to go deeper in this world.
I think that Gothic 1 was a game that allows the player to go everywhere, anywhere, and anytime. So
yeah, it's something that inspired a lot of future RPGs. It's what a lot of people would now call almost Skyrim-esque, because that's what broke into the actual mainstream. But in the RPG space, Gothic was amongst the few.
So that feeling
the first, I mean,
that the player has in order to make his own choices.
There was, I don't know, 15 years, over 10 years, there was nothing happening with it, which is sad, because it's like, it's a franchise and a game that people deeply care about and are very emotional towards too. And I'm myself sad, actually, that I never got to play another Gothic game in these times.
We are fighting with memories. We're just trying to embrace the original vision of the authors.
When I was
so far, it's been 3 minutes of them like reinforcing what I said, on yesterday's video, right? Like, step one to knowing if a game's going to be good, especially a remake, is like, they need to understand and respect what the fans of the game want. And when you're making a remake, that really comes down to making it as close to what people liked about the original as possible. And then you need to care, right? And they care. They care about it so much that they are coming back. So many of these people are, people who worked on the original, right? Like the music guy and that.
I was young, I played the games in German. It was one of the only games which had a real character and authenticity to German culture. Like, the dialogues were written in a way how you and me would speak if we would be, I don't know, friendly, drinking a beer and talking about stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And that is something that was never done by a game.
I definitely hope that the dialogue flows a little bit better, because you can very much, it's dated, right? At the time, it was very rare that the dialogue, especially the dialogue of a game that had to be, translated and retranslated to be released in English. I do hope that the newer version is much more fluid with its dialogue and feels natural, because he's talking about how natural it felt for the dialogue in German, but in English, it's very much like it's one of those like, haha, the voiceover is kind of comical in English. I hope it's better.
Like, it was so natural and so close to reality, in a way. like without being a simulation or whatever, kind of like fascinated me always, right? Because it
Scatty.
also like they
I remember. I think Scatty's the one who sends you over to the swamp camp to do his chores for him and to get like a recipe for healing potion, if I recall correctly.
were cursing each other in the game and like react.
This is you gotta taunt this guy into fighting you because you want to like prove yourself in the arena, prove that you're a good warrior. So you have to like make fun of him because he doesn't want to fight you because he doesn't think you're strong enough. So you have to say, oh, you're just here to kiss Gomez's ass, which to him is insulting because he's from a different camp who hates Gomez.
To each other in a very rude way sometimes, and that was kind of like an attractor for me.
Creo que tiene algo.
It makes the game feel more genuine when you have that sort of thing, right? A lot of games nowadays kind of try to like make everything very how would I say it? Like very very sanitized, very polite, even in situations where they shouldn't be. Because at the end of the day, this is a prison colony. So the people here are criminals. They're going to be rude, a lot of them, at least, especially the ones that are higher ranking, because those are going to be the more violent ones, the ones more capable of, you know, beating you up and taking your stuff in order to rise through the ranks. So it makes sense that people would, you know, not be afraid to be rude and say things that, you know, are a little bit less, you know, polite.
Algo especial. Este juego desde el principio, desde que empiezas a jugarlo, te engancha, te envuelve como en ese aura oscuro y como duro, ¿no? Que se consigue muy rápido, ¿no? Esa sensación
What armor is that in the back?
de sentirte parte, ¿no? De ese mundo ya.
Is that from Elex? I never played Elex. I tried, but I just didn't vibe with it. I think he's wearing the Swamp Camp armor, or is that the Rogue armor?
La música, los environments.
That's peasant. Not peasant. Digger armor. This is Rogue armor for sure.
Gothic me gustó mucho por el setting y por el mundo.
Let's go back and look at that Shadow Beast again, because look at that thing. It's gorgeous, man.
Así que Gothic me gustó.
And he's falling like this darkness
Setting y por el mundo.
to it. Oh, yeah, I believe that these are magical beasts created by the literal god of darkness to destroy things. Like, look at it, it's beautiful.
Y me llamó mucho la atención, pues que era un juego que yo no estaba acostumbrado a jugar en ese momento. Un juego que no te guía, no te indica dónde tienes que ir ni lo que tienes que hacer. Tienes que prestar atención a lo que te dicen los personajes. Tienes que comprarte el mapa, tienes que estar muy atento.
Yeah, having to buy the map was pretty fun. You have to pay attention to what the game tells you, right? If you don't, you're gonna be like, wait, where am I supposed to go, right? And you look at the journal, and the journal kind of gives you a hint, but it's like, I didn't pay attention. I don't know what to do. I mean, actually, no, that's not fair. The journal does tell you what to do. The journal is very, very complete, but you do need to have the attention of like, hey, let me check my journal, right? Because if you're just like not paying attention, skipping through all the dialogue, you'll end up lost.
Y eso realmente es una experiencia muy inmersiva y yo creo que eso es lo que más me gustó
The mine crawler. Then you have to kill the mine crawlers that the queen sends at you, and then you have to kill the mine crawler queen. I hope that this fight is more interesting, because in the original, the mine crawler queen, like, it has an attack animation, kind of pretend like it goes like this at you, but it's not an actual attack. It has no way of defending itself. It's kind of disappointing.
Gothic is a very grounded game that you feel like is tough, is hard, but also it's very realistic.
Okay, I wasn't going to talk about it, but like, he's clearly Spanish, and now he's talking in English, and it's like, it was kind of weird that the two Spanish women were the only people who didn't speak in English. It's kind of weird. Spanish people are kind of known for being a little stuck up about that, but you know.
What this was amazing to me the first time that I played Gothic was how you could solve a lot of situations taking advantage of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone would take advantage of you, of course, but then you have these chances where you can take advantage of a character killing a scavenger for you, so you can go around something.
Creo que lo que más me gusta del
Yes, absolutely. Like, when you're, especially at the very start of the game, it very much pays to like talk to the characters that are offering to escort you, and then going with them and having that help to like clear the way between the camps Because, you know, so long as you hit the creature, so long as you're involved in the combat, you get that experience for it dying. So you can level up doing this very easily, and that way you're strong enough that you can then, you know, fight those fights later.
Que combina la magia y todo es que, aunque es un juego de fantasía, es muy verosímil.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Gothic is it's a very believable game. It's very, even though it's a fantasy game, it's very realistic in its fantasy. It's like, okay, we live in a world of magic. However, we are living in this world of magic. There are these magical creatures, or not necessarily magical, but there's these different creatures that are, you know, very dangerous. They have giant insects, which to us isn't possible because, you know, just the way that the bug breathes, the way that its body, like, passes oxygen through, it's not able to be big, and the kitten would be too heavy for it to fly. But they have those bugs. Okay. How do they work? We don't know, but we can make assumptions as to how it would work, like thinner chitinous shell, chitinous shell, and, you know, different way of breathing. And boom, now you have flying insects that are really dangerous and try to stab you. They don't have tigers. Instead, they have these massive, you know, felines with horns and spikes on their back that live in the darkness, and they hunt everything. And they're super dangerous, and nobody messes with them because of how dangerous they are, right? It's a fantasy game, but it feels like a real game. It's why a lot of people thought that Gothic was, you know, low fantasy. And I'm in the Discord, and I'm very active, and a lot of people kind of go, well, is it low fantasy? No, but it's not high fantasy either. It's that balance in between that so many works of fantasy shine in. It's what's called sword and sorcery. And we had a conversation about this on the Discord like a while ago, and it was a very nice conversation, I think. And yeah, most people consider it sword and sorcery because it's like, yeah, it's not super high fantasy, it's not this epic about saving the world, but it's very down to earth. You're using the spells and you're using the weapons, and sure, there's some things that they don't have technologically, but they don't need it because they have magic, right?
No es 100% realista, pero sí que intentamos que parezca realista.
Yeah.
Entonces es como que combinas.
One thing that I don't think the remake did succeed was some of the monster designs, specifically the Bloodfly. Like, that's not a bug. That's not a bug. That's not an insect. Like, insects don't have fangs. They don't have, like, multiple little eyes. Like, give them the big eyes. Give them the mandibles. Like, and then leave it at that. It's a fly, right? Come on. Like, what the hell does it have? That looks like a demon, bro.
Esos dos mundos y no te da la sensación que estás como en un juego que no.
Other than that, they've succeeded. I fucking love the new designs for the Fire Lizard. And the Shadow Beast. Oh, the Shadow Beast has me absolutely tweaking.
Pudiera existir en la vida real, sino que es algo que te hace como meterte dentro del personaje y sentir que tú puedes estar viviendo eso.
The living world,
ooh,
like
the arena. I do hope that they develop the arena a bit more.
But like everything is kind of like, everything had a daily routine.
The
you can
farm.
affect it, you can get to discover, kind of like be part of the life. It was the first simulation that I feel like was not centered around the player. It was actually going on while, you know, you were not the center of attention for everything.
Absolutely, and I think that it's a very fun part about Gothic, right? Like, yeah, you're the hero of the story. You save everyone, but by the time you end the story and you go into Gothic 2, you talk to a lot of these people and you try to say, hey, I saved everybody. I beat the sleeper. I did all this. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? No, the barrier just went down one day and we all left. Like, we weren't in danger. There was nothing big happening.
You were just a nobody.
Yeah,
I really
nobody
like
cares. Nobody
the
knows.
progression system and how you learn abilities, and what also the progression had an impact on, you know, your fight.
Oh, the Mindcrawler plate armor. I hope it looks really good, and I love that axe. It's the same. It's not the same axe as Lee. It's I think it's a unique axe that only you can get, because it's like for sale. But it's a really nice axe. I like it. I hope it looks as good in the remake.
Really,
we have not seen any two-handed axes. We've only seen two-handed swords, and they were really small. I was really disappointed how small the two-handed swords were that we've seen.
Everybody struggled fighting against the first scavenger or run away from the diggers.
Oh, that's a... He hit Both of them. That's huge.
For me, this point from them
he's dead.
learning that all the
Wait, what? That's the exact same sound as when you die in the original.
from the diggers, and for me, this point from them learning that all the decisions
That's very good.
make sense and all affect, and in the end of the game, you are stronger and you get
He's wearing the mercenary armor, the heavy mercenary armor
a
specifically.
name in the colony. For me, that's the most memorable thing of the game.
For me, the main thing that for me defines Gothic, it's the way you interact with other characters. I mean, it's not about, killing 20 wolves and so you get a rise in your level of expertise in sword fighting. It's about find someone, convince him to teach you how to improve your skills, and then maybe if you are good enough, he will teach you something. No? This human.
That is something that I really like about Gothic. You have to train things with people. And it's the same thing in Risen. And, once you're experienced, once you know the game, it's like, okay, I know that I need to go here to learn this skill, and then I need to do this stuff to level up, and then I go to this other side of the map to level up. And it becomes such a fun experience just to meet people and talk to everyone, because you never know, right? Everybody has a name. If that person has a name, they almost certainly have something interesting for you. And so you talk to them, and then sometimes they have a quest, sometimes they have training, sometimes they sell you things, sometimes they're the ones who give you the armor for that part of the camp. Sometimes, sometimes he's just going to attack you all of a sudden, and now you have to defend yourself. Now you're in a fight, and you beat him, and you take his stuff. It's like, oh my god, he had this cool, really cool thing on him. And so you take it off of him, but don't kill him, because if you kill him, everybody gets mad at you, right?
Human relations.
Our aim was also to create this remake in a mindful way and with respecting greatly the original, but we also wanted to set up with the graphics to be like.
I do feel like it looks a little I don't know, like the colors are grayer. Does that make sense? Like, sure, this isn't like super colorful, I'll admit that, but I don't know, man.
But we also wanted.
Wait, I know what it is. It's the motion blur and how Unreal Engine makes everything look kind of blurry. Okay.
To set up,
I understand what I'm looking at now.
Graphics to be like a modern game with a realistic look, right? And that kind of fights with the original, because the original, they only had so much polygons per figures, for example. And with these restrictions, you design creatures and NPCs and whatever. You design it in a very specific way to get the fantasy in your head, right? You had to do this back in the day. If there is people who are like, yeah, but I like this look. If you really like the look of the original game, I mean, I think there is a game for you, which is the original.
That's a good point.
And thankfully, I mean, you can now play Gothic 1 and 2 as.
I do think that it was a shitty thing to do to double the price of the original games, which they did. But at the same time, that's not on Alchemia. I don't think that should paint your opinion of the remake. That was a THQ Nordic decision.
Classic editions on modern consoles, which I think was also one of our key strategies always to take care about franchises and IPs, to make sure the thing that people love is actually preserved.
Yes.
In the end, we're fighting to recreate the love memories. And in Spanish, we say, there's a say that says, cualquier tiempo pasado fue mejor. It seems any past time was way better.
Oh, that was the Fire Mage Cathedral in the old camp. God, the fire lizards look so cool.
So in the end,
they look like dragons now.
We're trying to.
I remember in the original, like the first time I saw a fire lizard, I was like, oh, it's just a lizard. A fire lizard. Oh, they can't be that much more dangerous, because they didn't look that dangerous. Like you can see, it didn't look that much more dangerous. But this thing, I look at this thing and I go, oh, that's a high-level enemy. I should not be attacking that until I'm ready.
Challenge with this, but it's a nice challenge. So when I read some fans' comments about.
And by the way, I attacked the fire lizard the first time, and I was just, whatever, it's a lizard, right? And then it breathed fire on me and killed me instantly.
And they say, for example, a new cam image, we released not much ago.
It wasn't
not much
funny.
time ago. And they say, wow, this is.
Like, I laughed, but it wasn't fun.
Exactly how.
Also, the new camp looks sick. Like, you got Kronos here watching over their mountain of ore. You've got all these runes around here. That's so cool. That's so cool. I really like this look.
exactly how the new camp
And this is outside of the new camp.
was in my
Is it outside of the new camp?
imagine when I was playing. No? And then some other fans show him the real image of the new camp of the original game, no? And they say, "What the hell? What the fuck? What's this?" In my head, it was like the remake one.
Mm-hmm. So first of all, I think that the fan base of the original is a multi-layered demographic and structure. I think there's not one voice that you can listen to and say like, if
the berry looks really cool.
Like that, everybody will like it, and that's the core problem.
Absolutely.
There's so many different opinions. There's even like.
Oh yeah, I kind of enjoyed this take on the combat. I'm glad that they went with the new, something more like what it was originally, though.
When we did the Gothic playable teasers, there were even like old fans who were like, "Great, finally you are doing something different with it." I disagree with this. I feel like with the playable teaser, the aim was to really push the boundaries and go over it to get strong reactions, and we got that, so that worked out.
So back in the day, we were asking, okay.
So wait, they made the playable teaser. They did not want that shit in the game. That's good. That's funny. What opinion? I do hope that they make the demo that they put out. I think it was in Gamescom, like it was available for people at Gamescom to play it a little bit, and some like really big content creators like CoCarnage have been able to play it. I hope they make it available to everybody because, I want to play it. I want to make content about it. I want to, stream it and talk about it and make, videos and stuff. Like, I want to do that stuff. And I think other people also want to. And I think it would be fair to make it available for everybody, not just the really big content creators.
What fans want.
Because at that point, it's just, you're just kind of like preventing anybody else from growing by only giving the information to the biggest creators, and it's not nice.
What do they want?
We want a remake that is as good or better than the original was when it came out. That's what people want, right? And people are going to say, oh, we want to feel the same thing. That's impossible, right? That's up to you. I can usually feel the same thing when I play a game much later, but then I have a very powerful sense of wonder.
They want to the same story with new graphics, then, or maybe a retold. Maybe they want a new story within the world, or maybe they want something in the line of new modern games where the character is always talking and doing jokes to the player.
No, don't do that.
No, so we thought, okay, let's go extreme. Let's force a very strong reaction, and with that, we can understand what they really want. No, and
that was very smart.
In the end, we got the reaction. We got a lot of ideas from the fans. The fans showed us the way, and they helped us to create the pillars of the Gothic remake. No, I remember 4 years ago creating a document with the pillars of the game view, and saying, okay, we cannot move. Those are the pillars of everything what we are doing.
Oh, pillars. I was like, pillars. I get it. Okay.
Constructing the next years, those are the founding pillars, and it should be that. So for me, the PT was good because it helped us to define those basic pillars, and we are here today.
When we started to create the real Gothic 1 remake and got the green light to do it, we set out to, we defined that first and
that's, I think this is the old Camp Forge.
Foremost, we have to please
with
the old Gothic fans. Because if they don't like our game, then this game has no right to exist.
That's a very good point. If you're creating a remake, if you're trying to honor a past creation, and then that comes out and the general opinion of the old fans is that, no, we don't like it, we think that it disrespects the old thing, then yeah, it's not good.
I would say two things. The first thing is to the fans.
It's like I said on yesterday's video, man. Go watch it if you haven't. You need to care, you need to respect it, and you need to respect the fans. You need to know what you're going for.
That I hope that they fully understand the way we embrace the original, the way we respect and we are trying to honor the original, because we understand how important is this game, well, the franchise, but Gothic 1 in special for them. No, sometimes I read fans telling, okay, I was playing this with my father, and I will play the remake with my son. So,
oh, that's That must be something amazing to hear, honestly.
So I hope that they understand that we are doing this with passion and with all of our heart.
Yeah, it's yeah. The first one is caring. The second one is loving it. Loving the franchise, loving what you're doing, loving what you're making here, and yeah, it's critical.
It's the people out there that make us do what we love doing. They enable us to do that, and they are kind of the other half of that world that kind of only works if the both halves come together. We, being passionate game developers that pour our hearts and souls into making the game, and the audience that enjoys playing those games and kind of keeping it alive over so many years.
And for the future, I would like to play Gothic Remake in 20 years with Aran, with my son. He's 2 years old now, but maybe in 15 years or 16 years, we can play together and I say, okay, Papa, you did this? And I say, yeah. But yeah, maybe in 10 years, we can play together to this.
I said that was Zardus' tower, but I don't think it is. That's the old camp tower. Zardus' tower is over here. Like right here, right? You got Zardus' tower, and this is the old camp tower. I love that.
Yes.
You can see the ruins, you can see all of it. Gorgeous. That was really good. And it's like I said, I said it before, I said it throughout the video, I said it yesterday, right? It's three things. You have to care, you have to respect, and you have to know. You have to care about the fans, you have to care about the audience that you're making it through, making your product about. You have to respect the franchise, and you have to know what you're going for. You have to know what you're doing. And I really think that they know, they care, they respect, and that's why I'm looking forward to this. That's why I'm in the server. That's why I'm interacting with them. That's why I'm trying to like be in this. I'm so excited about this game. I can't wait for it to come out. I hope that when it does come out, it's as good as I and all the other fans are hoping for. I hope that this comes out and it's a nuke, right? It's a bomb. It does so well, right? It explodes all over the mainstream. Like, people go, oh my god, this is so good, and then they go play the old one and go, oh my god, this is unplayable by comparison. Because that's the reaction you want, right? That's exactly what you want. You want to make a remake that is so good that people go, wow, I am unable to play the original anymore because the remake is so good. And sure, you're always going to have people who go, I personally prefer the original because the combat is this, the combat is that, like I like the vibe more, whatever, right? Perfectly reasonable. At the same time, man, having the vibe of the original with modern systems, with modern graphics, with modern everything, that's what we want, right? And we want a good product at the end of the day. We want a good game. We want something that'll respect and do honor upon the thing that we loved. And really, there really is nothing else to say about it, right? That's all we want. But with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Leave a like, subscribe, join the Discord, both mine and Alchemia's. I'll leave the link in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, and cheers.